Hello and welcome. I'm Kalpana Singhal, founder and chief editor, Sexo TV, a flagship brand of Tech Plus Media Group. And today we have with us a very special guest, Piyush Srivastav, head IT, North Region, the Muthoot Group, for this very interesting fireside chat. A very warm welcome to you, Piyush.
Yeah, thank you, Kalpana. Thanks for inviting for this call.
Thank you so much for joining me. Yeah. So, Piyush, with the macroeconomic factors such as inflationary pressures, war, fall in the stock markets, and lowering sentiments are resulting in businesses resorting to measure to cut costs and restricting spending. So, how is this scenario affecting the NBFC segment in India?
Okay, Kalpana, first and foremost, I think I would like to mention that cutting costs was always there. We need to kind of reduce the bottom line to a large extent. It has been always been like that. But yes, with the changing scenarios, macro scenarios changing, and with geopolitical kind of environment now, there is definitely an impact on business now. Especially when it comes to NBFCs, I feel that the scenarios don't change much, primarily because most of the NBFCs work. One of the core streams or the main functions of an NBFC is in terms of loans. So when environment is little difficult and people are looking out to invest, they would like to go ahead with loans, right?
Yeah.
So one of the things which, especially with NBFCs, this could be a factor. But yes, because of all the other environments around it, it does have an impact. Probably not as much as the others where there is manufacturing and there's a supply chain, involved. The NBFCs cater to all kinds of work, industries, requirements. I think to a very individual level as well. Small loans to big loans. So a lot of these loans are actually of a segment which is, especially when it comes to our kind of a business where we're looking at gold loans. A lot of these loans are small amounts. Something which is about a lakh, let's say, below 5 lakhs. So in such scenarios, when there is a need for money, where there's more need to invest, this segment, it takes away a big chunk of our business. Well, as in we get a lot of work from this one set of business. But yes, there is definitely an impact somewhere in NBFCs. But yes, there is also a condition where we can have certain compliances come into picture. I think that's where things become a little more difficult.
Yeah. So, is it that we can take in the other way around, like with such kind of a turbulence when it comes to the economy? So, people are more towards lending and taking money and loans. And is it giving a positive impact on your business?
Yes, it does. Like even during COVID, I think we did very well. Though not to say it was a troubled time to say, but yes, during COVID or the pandemic which we had, a lot of people did not have money for lot many reasons, and they wanted to start their own work maybe, or needed money for so there were a lot of loans which were taken, and I somehow feel that it was good that we were able to help needy people who could not go to banks to take loans because they didn't have a regular salary to say, but help them otherwise in such time of need.
So, been supporting them in the different ways. So, those who are taking the gold loans, basically, there are some provisions being given by Muthoot Bank that if they are not been able to pay monthly EMIs, and they can do it some way in different way. Is that so? How you support them?
It is not. There are different schemes we have, but yes, it's not like a very flexible. It could be based on how the customer is, or at what kind of a loan stage he is. Expected NPA. So there are different schemes which we have, which are very flexible to say. Around COVID, we did a lot of relaxation just for the customers. Then obviously the loyalty as well. If some customer has been with us for a long time, we would try to. So we are not too rigid in terms of, but yes, when a scheme is implemented, it is implemented for all, as in for a certain set of people.
Yeah. So over the last 2 years, the BFSI sector has been the foremost sector facing continuous disruptions in terms of technology adoption,
right,
as you said during the COVID itself. So what are the top 3 changes you have seen of late in the technology adoption of the NBFC segment?
Right. So that's probably my topic to say, because that's where the technology comes in. Definitely, when you talk about business having an impact, and customers wanting to take loans, our job as a technology leader is to make it easy for the customers, right? So that's where the technology comes in, and it should be of that nature where it is comfortable for the customers to use it as well, right? So we looked into all these aspects, especially with cities being closed, people not able to come out, but they still want to take. They're still in the need of money to save, not like they want to take loan. We ensured that one that NBFCs had that they could open the branches one. So we were lucky enough to have our branches open and our staff there. But since the customers could not come over, so we started we started giving them various options, like we had loan at home. Now that's where our representative will go. So that's like a business process, but there's a lot of technology involved there. We did video KYC to ensure that when somebody calls onto our IVR and he's directed to a loan at home team, if he or she's willing to take loan at home, then the staff, the representative calls them, and then they do a video KYC where they check the KYC documents, do a geo tagging, ensure that person is there, and all the credibilities, and then all that process is done. It's more like to just go and take the gold, and give the loan to the customer. So this really worked very well. But we also, upgraded our chatbots. Now that's the time when actually a lot of companies got into automation. So we upgraded our chatbot. We made it more intelligent, AI-enabled chatbot. And we saw that a lot of people were actually on WhatsApp. So we moved all the transactions onto WhatsApp. Whatever a banking would do, what a person would do when at the branch, we move all that to WhatsApp. Obviously, he cannot go and take the loan, like he cannot give the loan. That's a physical thing which we manage through loan at home. But we ensure that he can do his bank mapping. He can do a top up, which is like if he's eligible for more loan, then he can top it up. Yeah. Plus he can pay his interest and all sorts of inquiries which he can do. So it was all connected to our CRM and core banking software, where he would get all information sitting at home. So so we started making chatbot the core engine around which everything started working. We also moved on to voice bots. Now voice bots are conversation bots. So instead of actually people calling, because all the companies had issues in terms of coming to office and making calls, or offices shut down. So these call centers also had an impact because of that. So we automated this. We started using voice bots where we can send reminders. So I think the biggest technology leap, I would say, was in terms of automation. To answer your question, then artificial intelligence, because somewhere we would want intelligent decisions to be taken, not like what we've been traditionally doing, because the scenarios have really changed in the last 2 years. So we wanted more intelligent decisions, and especially with these fintechs coming with these very new tools, which can interpret and which can be plugged onto any of our own applications. So we actually were lot focused on AI, artificial intelligence. So then third, I would say, is obviously the data. We all have been working on data. We know how critical it is. But then AI was actually was like there's data mining, there's machine learning, and then there's AI, right? So we started using our data to ensure that we are actually targeting the right customer here in this time of needs. So primarily, these are the key areas. Another thing which came up, and which probably all the technology leaders would agree to, is the cloud adoption. So maybe not the core applications, because there are again some constraints. Plus, their legacy applications. It is very difficult to move them onto cloud so quickly. So the newer applications moved onto cloud. So we started moving our non-critical applications, but very important in terms of business. Let's say a learning management system or our websites. So some of our security initiatives at the branches, we did not want them to sit, and because of continuity, scalability, our regions being in north and south. So we would, and the branches keep increasing. So we didn't want to constrain it to our premises. So we moved that to cloud as well. And I think it has been a good decision, because it is much more manageable, I would say now, and also uninterrupted. So all that analysis was done before we moved on to we took any of these decisions.
Yeah. Yeah, fantastic. So, you have given a bit of idea that, okay, what all you have done over the last 2 years,
Right.
and apart from the changes that you have been seeing in the overall adoption of the technology.
Right.
So, we'll touch upon, you talked about data intelligence also, and the various other cloud and adoption of other technologies as well. So we'll talk in detail, in the coming questions. So you talked about, adopting bots that you started during the COVID, especially while you didn't have a bigger team coming to the office physically. So these bots were used for a one-way communication. That, okay, what you want to send them as notifications to your customers, or maybe it was a, how was it? It was a two-way communication, and if it was a two-way, then were people, were the customers also responding to those messages being sent using the bots and all? So how was the experience?
The experience was very different actually, because a lot of our customers are, as I said, they are from the middle or lower middle income, and we were not expecting that the customers would be are so tech savvy to say. But when we started the bot, we realized that there is a lot of response coming in on the bot, and a lot of shift has gone on to digital, such digital practices, I would say, from the customer perspective. So when we saw that, we realized that we can make it a little more easier for them. We just wanted it to be a touch based, like it should not be that he has to go to the keypad and type 1 and 2, if he's looking at options. So we made it all available on the screen. So we saw that there was a good response coming in on the chatbot, and the chatbot actually we put it on the app, which we have, the Muthoot app. Plus, we also put it on the website. We then took a decision to actually integrate it with WhatsApp. Looking at the kind of we did just a survey, and we realized that lots of people would want it to be on WhatsApp, and also looking at the way the discussions and were happening and the business was moving on to WhatsApp, we actually moved that onto WhatsApp. Now that's the time we actually realized that we should add more features to it, like bank mapping, because all the payments can be. A lot of people, actually, a lot of customers probably when they're taking a loan, it's more of that they would come to the branch and make the payments, right? But then a bank mapping would help them to kind of directly debit or get it, do the transactions from the bank, and if they're doing a top up, the money would come straight to their bank, bank accounts. So I think the customer also realized, because it's not just probably a transaction he or she was doing with Muthoot, it's with the others as well. They realize that digital is the time of the need, and it's also secured that they should go ahead with that. So we realized that bank mapping was helping. Plus, that's how we gradually started introducing all these, and our partner who implemented chatbot was also very helpful, because he was doing it for other leading banks as well. So they were kind of bringing in the best practices, and we realized that it all helped us to connect to the customers. And moreover, I think it's important that the customers got an advantage, and whatever they needed, because our kind of business is purely what a customer wants, right?
Yeah.
The kind of loan he's trying to take is something which he or she's not been able to get from outside, because of the kind of financial status they are in.
Yeah.
So it helped the people, and we have those cases as well where these loans manage them to get through these troubled times.
Yeah, of course. So would you like to name the partner you were using for?
We did that. We mentioned that on LinkedIn also. We had a press release of senseforth.ai. So that's the company who did it for us, and they're still they are a partner to us, and we are going ahead and we're doing more changes and improvements onto chatbot. Yeah.
Sure. So, how are you leveraging the technical innovations from fintechs? Like bots is the story that you told us,
Right.
that there was a partner. So when it comes to fintechs, how are you leveraging those technical innovations?
Of late, there have been a lot of fintechs who actually moved into this space, and they're helping the financial sector to a large extent.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I talked about chatbot, and this chatbot is very specific to the financial industry. So that's why we kind of picked that up.
Yeah.
Also, the voice bot which I talked about. Voice bot is very new. The conversational voice bot is very new in the industry. It actually talks to you in a way that you would talk to a human being. So we specifically picked up the companies who've done it for the financial sector, because they are writing a script, and the conversation has to be very specific, because you charge basis the pulse, right? And it has to be very it has to be fruitful, that communication. So especially, and again, in security, we worked with a lot of people. See, at the time of COVID pandemic, the branches, our branches are actually where we have strong rooms, right?
Yeah.
So we had to ensure that it's all secured, because of no activity around the branches. These and people, there's a possibility that people would try attempt robbery, etc. Also because of the jobs going away, and the people can get into that phase of their financial status. Where not that people are, but it's like there was always a possibility that things may go wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like you were talking something about data intelligence in our earlier question. So, NBFCs, like organizations, are much more upbeat, like about their push for data intelligence and database decision making. So, what is the data strategy you are following to build a culture of data-driven decision making inside your organization?
Actually, we have a lot of data with us, considering that we're quite old in this business, and we have a lot of repeat customers who come in, right? So we do call them inactive, but then they're potential customers for us, potential leads for us to say. So plus, we have a lot of data which we get from external sources as well, which are our prospective, which can become our prospective, which are prospective customers to us. So we actually did a lot of data mining. We used various tools. Actually, we already have a team which is assigned to look into this data, do segmentation, and during the pandemic as well, we had to change our strategy in terms of the kind of customers we should target, because it was just not a middle or a lower, but it was also basis the kind of let's say people who are unable to pay their loans in the market, let's say, or credit card defaulters to say. These are also our customers who would, at this point of time, once you actually go ahead and take a loan and you get that experience, you would and you see how easy it is. Like we actually give loan in about 20 minutes, right? That's our USP, that if somebody comes with a gold, the whole process, though it's all stringent and with compliance, but we still manage to give it in 20-25 minutes, maximum. So that's how easy it is, and somebody is actually in that kind of a scenario. So we had to target not just the existing kind of a segmentation which we had done. We had to also look at different set of people whom we can target to, and I think in terms of how the data or our data can be used for assessing the performance of our own staff was also important. Because we got about 2,000 branches in the northeast and west region, and then in the south we have about 3,500. So about 5,500 branches we have overall. So considering that, we have a lot of data in terms of conversions, lead generations. That too had to be mapped to the staff performance. So there are various mechanisms which we had put in to kind of reward and recognize because each region would not be, there is a possibility that you will be getting good business from a particular region, right? But that could be of various other scenarios there. So looking at how difficult or easy it is to generate leads, and the number of leads or conversions which we are getting, we had to evaluate that, and on that basis only to get to know the relative performance of our staff. So that again had to be done. So that's primarily how our data strategy is, both for our customers and for our employees.
So having said that, how are you moving beyond a human-based approach to AI-based data intelligence?
Okay, so what we're trying to do is we are trying to bring in as much of automation as possible. we are trying to identify those processes which are more time consuming. We have analyzed, through our consulting agency. We've got a lot of consulting agencies who work for us. See how the business is done and look at where it can be, the efforts can be minimized and which all can be automated. So kind of trying to make it more lean. What all we've done is that we have implemented RPA. Now that's something which we did not have earlier, but we're looking to implement RPA, where and that actually will quicken the whole process of lead generation to a customer and disbursement. Because a lot of these loans actually have to be approved. If they go beyond a certain value, they have to be approved from out of the branch with our region to say. Plus, the verification of gold again is a very sensitive and a very important aspect. Now that again is now that's something which we're looking at to kind of do some artificial. And there are various tools in the market which can actually verify these as well using analytics plus camera recognition, etc. So these are the various, so that we can cut down on the whole process of loan disbursement. So in terms of lead creation, we have actually we have put in very smart ideas which can actually, when somebody gives their PIN number, it can directly go to the branch. So and then if not, then it goes to the call center. We have professionally run call centers as well.
Okay.
So even when it comes to calling, we have actually got the dialers in place. Where the calls keep coming in. We have used C2C. We call it a C2C app actually, where people will keep getting calls, will keep getting numbers to call. It's all integrated with our CRM system. So we have actually not left anything. Considering our main objective is to ensure that the lead time, the whole process of lead generation and customer onboarding is minimal, because as I said, that's our USP.
Yeah. So, last question, Piyush, that whatever adoption you have seen so far, any one technology would you like to name, you think that has best justified your investments?
I would say it is more in terms of, for me, it would be artificial intelligence. The reason is that we can do a lot of data mining, we can do a lot of BI, but eventually, the decision making remains with us, right? And we may not take the right decision. But the current trend is that the artificial intelligence works in a way that it looks into the best possible solutions. We probably are constrained to our own knowledge, and we may take decisions basis what we know, but artificial intelligence would actually check whatever possible solutions are there across the internet, or let's say the industries. So I would say that that's the trend. A lot of new technologies are developing over and above, like metaverse, say, or Web 3.0. And that's the future of AI, to say. How soon they will come, I'm not sure, but we can easily think of use cases, when we talk about these technologies. Plus, I feel that a lot of AI takes away the bias, somewhere, because certain things which are captured by AI or interpreted by AI are purely on basis of your requirements. Sometimes, we would have something on our table, but we would not want to interpret it like that. So AI would actually interpret and give us, the best possible solutions.
So it empowers us with, while translating those data insights into in a very presentable manner, that it helps us in making a decision. Right. Thank you so much for answering that last question, Piyush. And it was a complete pleasure interacting with you today. I appreciate your time.
Great. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Kalpana, and thank you, the Tech Plus teams, and for calling me. And for such an interesting questions which were thought-provoking. And thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Stay tuned to our social media channels and stay safe and take care.
For more updates from CXO TV, please like and subscribe to our channel.